Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening, Facebook. Hey, good evening. It's Thursday at 8 p.m. Guess what tonight is? It is 10 things you need to rock your nonprofit. Good evening, good evening. So we're going to play a little music while everybody is jumping on the Facebook Live. Good evening. I see Allison. I see Meredith. Hey, how you doing? Hi. What's up, y'all? So I'm going to play a little music. That's how we get started. So I can tag some people. Make sure you tag a friend. It is Thursday, 8 p.m. And it is 10 things you need to rock your nonprofit. Yay! So let me start adding some people. Who else has joined us? Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie. I see Gregory. Hey, how you doing? All right, let's keep going. I'm starting to add some people. Make sure you tag your friends. Let's see. How do I share people? Welcome. I see Sabrina. I see Otis Burks. Hey, hey, hey. I see Tiwa. Hey, you're super excited about the training. Hey, hey, Burnett from Curry Educates. Hello, hello, hello. I see everybody's in the house. It's Thursday, 8 p.m. Tag a friend. And by the time this Junior Mafia beat goes off, we're going to start class. So make sure you go to the Facebook group, which is Brandy Hicks. So someone tag the Facebook group so you can get in the Facebook group. Hey, Dolly. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Make sure you're jumping over to the Facebook group. If you go on the tab that says Files, you will see your workbook to join tonight. I see Allison. Hey, Ebony. How are you? Good evening. I see Ebony's in the house. We got a full house tonight. Let me refresh my page. All right. Hey, Dolly. Dolly says she's doing great. Nicole Brock Williams. Someone tagged her. Tag a friend. Jump in our Facebook group. We're going live in our Facebook group too, I think. And we're going to get started very shortly. Jasmine. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, look at all the hearts and the love. Ida, what is the Facebook group name? Ida, thanks for asking. It is Brandy Hicks. That's Brandi Hicks, Hicks. And when you jump in the private Facebook group and you ask to be accepted, any member can accept our friends. And then what you'll do is when you go in, I'm looking at it at the same time that I'm talking to you guys so I can explain it. So when you jump in, there's a tab that says Files. You jump into Files and you'll see your workbook. Hey, Georgiana. Oh my goodness. This is a treat when Georgiana is in the house this evening. Georgiana is my roommate. When we went to a conference, or not a conference, but a retreat, and we were roommates together, and we had an all-night girls session, and we talked about our dreams and what we're going to do and make this imprint in the world. And Georgiana shared her gift, and you want to make sure that that's probably what we need to do first, is that you guys need to do a roll call. So I need to see, I'm going to play Get Money one more time just because, number one, that is the theme of the night, because we're going to be talking about budgets and fundraising and how to get money into your nonprofit. So I'm going to play a little Get Money, and I want to see your roll call. I want to see who's in the house. I want to see who is in the house. Thursday night, 8 p.m., 10 things you need to rock your nonprofit. So let me see. Let me go back to the Facebook group. Hey, Andrea, I see you. How you doing? Let's see who we have. I got to check the Facebook group. Hey, Andrea, I'm looking fat. Thank you. Ebony says she loves the necklace. Thank you so much. You guys are too cute. And so I want to see your roll call. So I want everyone to tag yourself. Give us your Facebook name, your Facebook group name, your ad. If you don't have your website up, that's fine. I want to see who's in the house. I want to see roll call. So drop your name below so I can see who is here. Ida is here. Yes, this is the community of nonprofit leaders, so we can share our gift with one another. So we want to get connected with people. So let's see who we have in the house. Georgiana, I see you. I see Ebony. Everybody is posting. Oh my goodness, look at everybody posting. All right. So for those of you guys, hey, how are you? I see all the loves in the heart. So you guys are just joining in. This is 10 things you need to rock your nonprofit. And so you join the Facebook community, which is my name, Brandy Hicks. That's Brandy with an I, B-R-A-N-D-I, Hicks, H-I-C-K-S. Hey, Jamaica. Hey, how are you? Tribe Love Georgiana. I know this is so slow, delayed, behind, but I am still getting the love, no doubt, no doubt. And so Parnesia and Dr. Thomas is in the house. Hey, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. So you guys just jumped in. Drop your name. I want to see who's in the house. Drop your name. Facebook. I see Ebony Lyons Harris. Her IG is I am-Ebony Harris, and she is the Authentic Life Coach. Hey, welcome, welcome. I see Stephanie Carter Jernigan. Hey, good evening, good evening. All right. We're getting ready to get started. Welcome, welcome, everybody. So I'm going to turn this Junior Mafia Get Money off. Last week when I posted my live stream, hey Raquel Shakerator, when I posted my live stream, I got this message from YouTube that said that your music needed permission to get licensing. And since I'm new to this YouTube posting, I just decided, look, we're going to have a party because we are leaders, we are communitarians, we are servants in the community. So we like to dance, we like to have a good time, we like to have our theme music. So I just figured over the next couple of sessions when I'm live streaming, I'm just going to pick a song from one of our community partners that I've worked with in the community that is either been an artist or producer or writer of a song, and if we use their music and still upload this to YouTube, then at least that I'll be able to have a direct connection to get permission to post our video on live stream. But anyway, good evening, good evening, good evening. I see Raquel has joined us. I see Allison has joined us. I see so many people that, hi, Shawana, hey, how are you? Okay. So it is so many people on tonight, and so that just lets me know that you guys are ready to serve and ready to learn. And so what I need you guys to do, for those of you guys that can do double duty, is that I want you to be active in this Facebook group. I want you to be active on this Facebook Live. I want you to post. I want you to ask questions. I want you to share your gift because you're in a safe space where you're getting ready to step into your destiny. And within that, we need to know what you do. So always keep posting in our Facebook Live. Okay, so now that we got started, this has been a week. I will tell you, serving in the community since last Thursday has been quite eventful. But most importantly is that I got a chance to spend some time with some of my family members. And my niece, she's so adorable. She's about to turn 3. I went over there Saturday night to visit her mom. And for Halloween, she was Rainbow Dash. And that's all that she talked about was Rainbow Dash. And if for those of you all that have young children, I don't have any children, so I go play with my nieces and nephews. And so Rainbow Dash is from My Little Pony. Now, for those of you guys that are kind of older, you guys remember My Little Pony, but Rainbow Dash, I come to find out, has like 5 other friends. She has like Fluttershy, Rarity, what's the one with the purple? Twilight Sparkle, Applejack. She has a bunch of her friends, and they all have superpowers. And so my niece was excited to be Rainbow Dash for Halloween. And so she was telling me that Super Dash has powers that she maintains the weather and clears the skies. And so I thought that was pretty cool because with everything that we do in our personal life, somehow it comes through in our passion. And it always comes through when we're giving back. And so when I talk to people in the community, and a lot of you guys have stepped forward last week and said yes to getting coached by me one-on-one. And so what I've talked to people thus far is everybody has the same voice. Everybody has the same voice in regards to there was something that happened within their childhood. No matter how good or not so good, that was the start of the beginning of their childhood relationship with this nonprofit. And so when you're born and you're little and there's something that sparks a fire in you, where you feel like that you have this invincible strength to change weather patterns, to make rainbows in the sky and make someone else's day better, like that's a gift. And so that's where it starts with that childhood passion of growing up to go into a life of service and start a nonprofit. And so with that childlike curiosity, now within the last 2 weeks, you all have, that has been joining me on my live stream, have really started to awakening to your calling, to that childhood situation, no matter how good or not so good. And now within the last 2 months of the calendar year, you know, now is the time to get it started. And so I was so proud of you guys that there were 22 of you all that said yes. Last week, if this is your first week joining me, last week when I was coaching, I was in the giving gift and I decided to ask for the first 15 people that would like a 20-minute coaching session, laser coaching, and asking me anything that they want to ask me about nonprofit and how to get started. And so many people responded to that, that I opened up 7 more spaces and 22 people are scheduled for their next nonprofit coaching call. So if you guys took action last week and you took advantage of the 20-minute coaching call, I want you to raise your hand and I want you to say, that's me, I'm in, I'm starting, and tag your nonprofit down below. And so I know that I had Tuwia is on the line on Facebook Live. I see you. EduFusion Institute. Wow. And you are a community development organization that offers tutoring and workforce development training. They're located in the DMV area. Yes. And that, let's see. Awesome. Aletha is here. Hey, Aletha, how are you? And so let's go back real quick because I want to see those 22 names again because I want to call you guys by name. Because I have either sent an email to you guys or we've texted or we've direct message and we got you guys on the schedule. And I know it took some time and some of you guys were sending me a message all the way up until like 30 minutes ago. And so we're thankful for that. And so let's see, I'm going to call these names again. of those people who took action last week. That was Aletha, Allison, Brianna, Cece, Sharisa, Cheryl, Courtney, Dolly, Ebony. Ebony, you're already on the list. Georgiana, Imani, I play as Steven. Yes, he was on the list. Jamaica, Josette, Latanya, Lester, Cherise, Stephanie, Taj, Tay, Vernette, and Victoria. Yay! Give yourselves a round of applause. Yes, Jamaica says that she's in there too. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And so, for those of you all that have not checked your direct message or your email, I sent you guys some emails, so check your email and we will get you in there. And for those of you all that are new, I got some more gifts this week, so just keep tuned, keep tuned. We got some more coming up this evening. Okay. So all of you guys have got your workbook. Again, if you guys are just joining me, this is 10 things you need to rock your nonprofit. This is designed for people that are new to nonprofit, that they are new to nonprofits, and they have an idea that they haven't quite figured out what they want to do with their idea. It's for people that already have their nonprofit, that need to go back and check the box to make sure that they have crossed their T's and dotted their I's. They're for nonprofit leaders that need to learn how to create budgets. I'm going to show you how to do a budget this evening that's very simple, that has 5 different categories, that represents also a federal budget, because a lot of you guys work in education. So I'm going to show you a way to create your program budget that is also in the format of, or like a template of, a government budget for government grants. We're going to talk about fundraising. We're going to talk about a fundraising plan that is going to blow your socks off. Make sure that you have some type of access to a calculator. Let me make sure that I bring up my calculator now, because we're interactive on our Facebook Live. What else we got tonight? And then we're going to talk about volunteers. We're going to talk about squad goals for nonprofits. Who do you need to have behind you? Who do you need to have on your team? Whether they're volunteers, whether they're intern, whether they're skilled employees or temps. We're going to talk about the people that you need as volunteers, as your squad goals, and make you more effective in the work that you do in your community. So again, if you're joining me, jump into our Facebook group, which is my name, Brandy Hicks, BrandiHicks. Someone tag it in the message system, in the message in the comments, because people have been asking about it. And so when you get into the Facebook group, you'll get in there and then you'll look on the section that says files, and you will click in the files. And when you click in the files, you will see where it says 10 things rock your nonprofit. And that's your workbook. That's my free gift to you guys in order to follow along in the workbook. All right, so let's get started. So on page 6 of your workbook, because I have mine too, we're going to talk about what your budget is and how much does it cost in order to pay for your dream. Now, this is the conversation that is sometimes hard to have with stakeholders or people that you want to have invest into your nonprofit or donate to your nonprofit. But it's something that's very important because you got to get to the money. We all know that for some of us, before we even started our nonprofit, we knew that getting into our nonprofit was going to cost us something. We just didn't know what it is. And so what you are going to do in this page of the workbook is that you are going to take your budget and you're going to figure out how much does it cost. So for those of you guys that are in the Facebook group, I'm going to drop a little gem for you guys. You guys are ready? In the Facebook group, see what happens when you're trying to do two things at one time. In the Facebook group, I am going to post a template for you to share. This template is going to help you develop your budget for the next 4 years. That's right. I'm putting in here budget template, 10 things rock. Look at my instant message going off. People are like, wait, is it in there? Is it in there? Let me drop it, and there it is. Refresh your page. There is a budget template. If you guys have jumped into the Facebook group and you go over to the Files tab and you see the budget template, I want you to post below and say, I got the budget. Say, I got the budget. I want to see you guys post below that says, I got the budget. And so that's my gift to you. That is a very easy template. And we're going to talk about it. For those of you guys that are just joining in, or you're driving, or you can't get to it right now, when you get on the Facebook group, I just shared a gift with you guys. And that is a budget template for your nonprofit. And so when you have a nonprofit, Tiwa said, I got the budget. Yes, yes, yes. I love to see. Let me refresh the page. Oh my gosh. It's so delayed. Shawana, I see you, see a post. Can't go there now or we'll cut your live feed off. That's okay. Jamaica says that she's got it. Don't worry about it. Sharice, when you get it, you get it. And that's okay, because we're going to replay this. You guys can always jump in it. Shawana says, I see the budget. That is so cute. And so, yes, the budget is in there. I'm going to pin it to the top of the Facebook group. So for those of you all that are driving or can't get to it now, that you will get to it, and I'll pin it to the top. I see Allison says, I got the budget. Yes, yes, yes. Ebony says, I got it. Sharice says, thank you. Jamaica says, I got it. Dolly says, I got it. Yes, yes, yes. And that's how we want you guys to do, is that you get played in there and you get full out and you play full out in these Facebook groups. And so when you're creating a budget, there's 5 different easy categories to figure out how you want to put your budget together. And so when you do get a chance to look at the budget, let's just say, for instance, that you are thinking about 2017. And so and I want you guys to get your pen out, and I'm going to get my pen out as well as do the work with you. And so let's just say, for instance, for round numbers, that your budget is $10,000. So I want you to write $10,000 in the middle of your workbook. So if you can see this, we're going to write this along, and I'm doing it with you. Write $10,000, okay? And so if your budget is $10,000, your budget can only have a split at most of 70%, 30%. We know 70 plus 30 equals 100, right? And so what that means is that at most, as a start-off nonprofit, again, this is going to fluctuate in the first 3 years, but you want to work to anywhere from 20 to 30% of your budget to only be administrative fees. 20 to 30% max. When you get to 30%, the IRS is saying, good, you're within compliance. Anything higher means that you need to adjust. And that's a good parameter that when you're starting nonprofits, is that you want to kind of gauge to see where you fall within how much percentage that you spend in budgets. I mean, how much do you spend on programs and how much did you spend in admins? So let me explain the 2 different buckets. 70%, the larger percent of the 100%, means all of your program expenses. That means that if there is curriculum or books that you need to copy, if you need to rent a van, if you need to implement your programs, you need to hire some, not hire staff, if you need computers, if you need papers, copiers, if you need tangible things, say for instance that you're running an art program, those art supplies. Curry Educates, you guys have SAT and ACT prep. If you're using a workbook that you've purchased from off the shelf, those are program expenses. Things that are included in admin expenses are those consulting fees as well as those salary fees. Say for instance that you have a summer camp. And for those of you all that work with youth and after school programs, you'll probably want a summer camp. Why? Because there's things that children need to do during the summer. And it provides a continuum of care for your students and your target demographic, because you'll be able to provide 365 days worth of servicing when you do a summer camp. And so if you are paying part-time staff or your camp staff, that falls within the administrative fees, so that's a part of your 30%. So your budget needs to be at 70%, really 80%, or 20 to 30% as far as your admin fees. The really good organization that has this down laser snap focus and that have actually worked years and years and years and years to move the needle, to move it down from 30 to 20 to 10, are those corporate nonprofits like the United Way, like your Red Crosses. If you are interested to finding out what a nonprofit spends on their admins and their programs, there's a website called Charity Navigator. Someone posts down there the link to Charity Navigator. I guess I could do it myself. But Charity Navigator, working with nonprofits, that you'll get an opportunity to see their star rating. And let me see if I could type it in there. CharityNavigator.org. And so Charity Navigator, and I posted it in the Facebook group, Charity Navigator is a place that you can go and look at other nonprofits that are doing the same work as you, to see what type of program expenses that they have, to see their tax exempt filings, things of that nature. So that is something that, as a startup nonprofit, that you can see what other nonprofits are doing within the community. And so you can take a look at that. Thank you, Allison, and thank you, Ebony, for posting that. Parnisha asks, how much is a good benchmark to allocate for curriculums? Good question, Dr. and Mrs. Thomas. I met this lovely couple, this bright ray of light, last weekend, and they have both of them have two amazing organizations that they are starting in the near future in the community. And so we discussed about curriculums and the cost of what that looks like to a nonprofit. And so we all know that the cost of workbooks can be quite expensive. The cost of workbooks depends on the number of pages, the print, how many, how large. For instance, so happened that I have this. This is my curriculum. This is the 10 things you need to complete your college application. This is the workbook that I provided for high school students that want to transition into college. And so the cost of the curriculum, when you're doing it in bulk, in orders of 100, 500, 1,000, will run you anywhere from low end $5, high end $10, $12 per unit. But the great thing about this now is that in the world of technology is that curriculum can either be placed in a virtual environment, where curriculum, you can actually do ebooks, or what they call them, or like your workbook, and you can post them to a website, a link, and then have that person download it, because a lot of people are on e-readers, they don't do paper. Or if they do want to print it out, then they can print it out themselves, or you can make it available for them to buy it and that you mail it to them. So it really ranges on the cost of how much would you spend on the curriculum. I wouldn't necessarily concentrate on actually the cost that it would cost to make like a hard workbook, unless you're working with a demographic that needs a hard workbook and you're doing live sessions. But spend it on the making it a great finished product, meaning that you want to have contributors to your workbook, that you want to invest that money as far as curriculum into the design, but don't spend a lot of time on the design, but focus on the elements of the curriculum and not necessarily the actual physical cost. Because your client, as you're training off the curriculum, this is what I will tell you: books and workbooks don't make you a lot of money. Books and workbooks in curriculum don't make a lot of money. What makes a lot of money for your nonprofit or your for-profit, whichever you choose to do, your money is in the training. See, anybody can go, look, here's a prime example. And I brought the book. Remember last week where I was talking and telling you guys that my best friend Ebony had given me a $13 book? Here's the $13 business plan book that I built my nonprofit off. Something that I bought at Barnes and Nobles for what this today, it doesn't really, have a value once you take it off the shelf. But the training that went along with this workbook, fast forward to my master's program that I spent X amount of dollars of getting my master's in nonprofit management and my master's in marketing. What I realized is that this $13 book that I got years before my master's was the same $13 book that I got at the end of my master's class. So what I learned is that I paid for the training, I didn't pay for the workbook. Let me repeat that again. I paid for the training, my master's, my 2 masters. I did not pay for the workbook or the curriculum. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And so I see we got some people that have joined in. Let me check the Facebook group. Oh my goodness, ever since I was talking, and then we'll jump back into budget. I see there's so many people that have joined into the Facebook group. Let me go ahead and accept them. And if you guys are in the group, if you see them and can accept them for me, we don't want to leave them hanging out. Let them know where the gift of the budget template is and where the workbook is. And so let's get back to the budget. So if you have a budget that is a 70-30 split with our little equation that's very, very simple, what is the dollar amount of 70-30? If you do 70% of a $10,000 budget, that is $7,000. 30% of a $10,000 budget for your admin expenses is $3,000. So that means that when you're building your budget, when you're looking at the template that I provided that you guys as a gift in the file section, you know that all of your program expenses, all of your hardcore cost of your program expenses should not add up to more than 70%. And all of your admin, which are paying your consultants, which are paying for your website, which are paying for your licensing, all of those admin other expenses go into the administrative expenses. So is your organization's budget, so your homework, either you did it before or you'll do it this week, is that you need to take a look at your organization's budget, whether it's real or whether what you want it to look like in 2017, and look at it to see if it falls within the 70-30 threshold. Try your best to make it into the 80-20%, 80% program expense, 20% admin expense. And the reason why that ratio is so heavy is that the government wants to make sure that as a public charity, you are spending the majority of the money that you bring in the door to the program and not to salaries. That's why in nonprofit, people don't make a lot of money, because the money goes towards, look, I saw Burnett say, I see Burnett with smiley faces, John, and hey, said good advice. We love you. Love you too. Love you too. And so you want to look at your organization's budget. And so what I always like to do is that as a nonprofit leader and as a purveyor of the funds that are in the community, you need to make sure that you look for in-kind donations. And what that means is that you are looking to remove a line item off of your budget. And so let's say, for instance, that you're working with kids, or you're working and you're providing training for women to empower them, or if you're starting a business or you're starting business, or young people want to start their own business and become entrepreneurs, you're holding a workshop. And you know that and I'm just playing off some things, you know that in your workshop that you got to have pens, highlighters for the workshop. You may need pretend this is like a binder. You may need a binder. You may need some resources in the room. And so where would you think in order to get those resources from? So what I want you to think about is that if you have a line item for a lot of office supplies, where would you look for in-kind gifts in order to get office supplies? So I want you guys to post down in the live video stream and tell me where you think that you would get office supplies or resources to eliminate that line item, or get some corporate organization to give it to you as a gift. Let's see. I'm going to jump into the Facebook group. There's so many of you guys that are sending me messages. Office Depot. Yes, 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 yes. Dr. Thomas says Office Depot, and that is correct. Office Depot, Staples, Walmart. Good, good, good. And that's actually great. Costco's, Sharice, that's great. And so Walmart, yes. So Office Depot, Target, yes, yes. I love these ideas. And so even when you think of places like Target and Walmart and Costco's, think about if you had your shopping cart and someone gave you a gift card to go into those places, like what other things do you need for your nonprofit for the entire calendar year? So when you go in for an ask for an in-kind donation from an organization or an agency or not a nonprofit, but a business like Office Depot, Staples, Walmart, Target, all of those great resources that you list, like make the ask inclusive for the year. Make this in-kind gift. You look at January through December. What do you need? If you're having a summer camp, you may need water bottles. If you're running a backpack, back to school drive, you may need this. You may need school supplies. Think about the time of the year that you need to ask for these in-kind gifts. Right now is not the ideal time to ask anybody for a lot of gifts right now. Why? Because they've already been allocated, or they're going to ask you, do you need it? Because things that are given away for Thanksgiving and Christmas, look, when I used to do Thanksgiving and Christmas drives and turkey drives for a lot of my clients and community friends, I'd have them start doing this in April. They would look at me like I was crazy. I was like, yo, trust me. When you go to businesses and organizations to ask at least 6 to 8 months in advance of what's going on for your organization, that gives them enough time, to get to the decision maker to give you that in-kind gift, because we all know nobody calls you back on the first try. That's why you got to keep going. You give yourself enough time. You need enough time to present the materials, whether it's in a letter, a face-to-face, an email, whatever that is. They need to have time to chew on it. And so that lets you know what you're working with at least 90 days before you kick it off. That way you're not stressing out like, how do I get backpacks? And it's July. Well, if you're getting backpacks for your after school program or whatever it is, that you need to ask in the month of January, February, or March. So those are how you need to look at your budget, and that helps you with your budget to balance it to that 70-30 or that 80-20. Okay, so let me hear back from you guys. So as I'm checking the Facebook group, yes, Allison Todd, I love that you had posted a grant opportunity. That is the Walmart grant, and that is a great resource. And here's a tip, because I have been dealing with Walmart for a long time. And I know at the beginning of the year, after the dust has settled, after the holiday, after they have put their store back together, after the managers and the store people have taken their appropriate time to rest from the holiday season, you need to look towards Walmart. And Allison, I think that you're on to something. I may do that Walmart grant and teach you guys how to do it. I don't know. Let me think about that. But let's keep going. And so Target, Allison is posting these grant opportunities. That's why I love this community. Allison is sharing with you guys. If you guys are in the Facebook group, even if you're not ready to start your grant process, that's okay. Go into that website, bookmark it, so when it's time for you to apply for the grant, you're not scrambling and looking around. Thanks, Allison, for posting the Walmart grant. Grants calendar. Ebony, you are reading my mind. Ooh, somebody's an overachiever in the group. You got to wait, Ebony. I may have something special for you guys with that. I see Melinda. Yes, pretty please. Stephanie said her connection is not the best and that she'll have to pay back. Okay, so Stephanie, let me have a transparent moment right now. And so right now, Stephanie, my internet has been out for the last 2 days. And thankfully, I have such lovely neighbors. I am literally, I know that because the background looks different, I am at my neighbor's house. I literally knocked on, almost lost this. As you can see, this is what happens when you're not in your own space. You start knocking stuff over. And so as I try to get this camera back, bear with me. And so like 6 minutes before this live stream, I literally knocked on my neighbor's door and was like, yo, I need to borrow your internet because this is so important. There were so many people. Do you guys know that we broke like the internet last week and we had like 1,000 people viewing this video last week? It was insane, crazy, nuts last week. And so I knew that I had to get this going. I had to knock on Alex's door. So thanks, Alex. He's probably upstairs looking at me like I'm crazy. But anyway, thanks you guys for joining the community. And so, yes. I see Anthony Wright. One of my board members is on the live stream. And so he also knows firsthand of how I can take nonprofits and show you how to rock it out. And so, let's see. I want to make sure that I haven't left anybody out in this live stream. Allison has also posted another grant opportunity, Office Depot Foundation, for those resources that you need for your program to eliminate and get those in-kind gifts. So start bookmarking those websites, because I may have something for you in the month of December when it comes to grants. Okay, so let's keep going. I also want to make sure that I shout out a couple of people, because as we are building this community, as we are looking to figure out what life and learning looks like for our nonprofit, like I've talked to a lot of you guys this week, and I talked to a lady earlier today Miss Dolly, I'm going to shout you out, and I hope that you're okay with me shouting you out. But Miss Dolly was like me when I first started out. And Miss Dolly, you were not alone in this conversation, that a lot of the 22 people that I've either scheduled appointments with or talked to them, or many of you that I'll talk to in the next couple of days, are trying to figure out, like, where do I get started? Well, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know where I should go, how I should start, what are the programs. I don't have the resources, and I get it. 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 And just like I told you guys, like, look, this is a $13 book. A $13 book. I meet many nonprofit owners. What do you suggest for new nonprofits regarding getting audited financials that can be costly or difficult with very little income coming in? Okay, so Tiwa, I am going to laser answer your question right now because it just popped up. And then I'll jump back, you guys. I'll jump back into the Dolly story. No, let me write this down, because I want to pay honor to Dolly's story. So Tiwa, hold on. And this is the beauty part about live stream, is that you can bounce back and forth. And so with Dolly, she has said, like, well, she didn't know what she wanted to do, and how she was hesitant about getting started. Like, well, I don't even know if I should schedule my 20-minute coaching session with you because I don't even know which way to go. And so within that, like, there are a lot of you all that are watching that did not even say yes last week, but wanted to say yes. And for those of you all that say yes, that was a huge, brave step. Because I know a lot of you have either A, had conversations with nonprofit people that did not know what they were talking about, that took your time, your money, and a little bit of something else, and your patience, and it may have led you down a path that was not the direction that you sought out when you looked for that help. And then some of you guys that have searched online for so long and don't know exactly what you were looking for. Now it's just so much stuff that you're like, I'm overwhelmed. And then some of you guys just don't even know what to say if you got someone in the room or got someone that was experienced, because you have so many questions that you don't know where to start. And so after a couple of quick conversations with Dolly, I'm like, just say yes, and then we'll just figure it out in our 20 minutes that we talk. And so after our conversation, Dolly jumped in. Dolly scheduled her 20-minute session. She completed the quick application. I shouldn't even say application, it's a questionnaire. The reason why I send that to you is so I can take a look, and I'm looking at it now on my laptop, is so I ask everybody the same question. I want to get to know you. I want to look at your website or your social media page. I want to know when you got started, if you got started. I want to hear the cool name that you have. Like, we've got Authentic Life Coaching, we've got Stephen D. Jackson, we've got MPA Money Goalers, we've got Billionaire Boot Camp. We've got just a host of people with cool information that I really want to talk to you guys about. And so for those people that were gifted and that I have not heard from you, I'm not going to call you out. But I want you guys to go back to your email and go back to your direct message, because there's a lot of people on here that, as I'm getting this now and I'm talking to you, is saying, well, I want that 20-minute session. And so I'm going to offer something else a little yummier later for those people that this is their first time jumping in. Okay, so if you guys are just joining this live stream, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the 10 things you need to rock your nonprofit. And so what you'll want to do is jump into our Facebook group, which is Brandi Hicks, BRANDI HICKS. You'll look on the Files tab, and you will click and you will see two now goodies in there for you. You'll see your workbook that we're going through that is called the 10 Things Rock Your Nonprofit, as well as a budget template that will start you on your way to think about how to build your budget. And when you do it in like groups like that, I know that it probably looks weird in the groups, but as we go in the month of December, I may have a special breakout live stream that'll go through that budget template. But that one's pretty self-explanatory that shows you how to get started. All right, so who else do we have in the house? High Heel International and Jobasto Music Triathlon Camp. I love it, love it, love it, love it. That's the roll call. All right, so we are going to jump in to number 5, the fundraising plan, the 45-55 rule split. Now, if you are just joining, you just came on the juiciest part. Look, this is everything worth your Thursday at 8, rolling into 9 o'clock. Trust me, I will be done before How to Get Away with Murder, and I got to get out my neighbor's house because he probably got to go to work in the morning and doesn't understand why his neighbor is giving a live class in his kitchen. And so if you didn't come here for anything else, I hope that you have looked in the files tab and immediately turned to page 7, because this is what my clients come to see me for. This is probably the number one, if you're a nonprofit and that have been turning your wheels for a while and you love what you're doing in the community, but you got a board member that just won't participate in the manner that you would like them. If you have a board member or a group of board members, I want you to post the number in the Facebook live chat. I want you to post how many board members. So I want you to post board member equals the number of board members that you have. If you have not started your nonprofit and you got a crew, you got a group of volunteers that you know the moment that you pick up the phone is going to say, yes, I want to see how many people that you think that you have either on your board or that'll be able to support. Ebony says 15. Oh my goodness, Ebony, I got something for you. That's a good thing. That's a good problem to have. Yes. How many board members do you guys have? Let's see. Yes. I see you guys have lots and lots of board members. I myself, I have a board. Let's see. I have Anthony, right? He's on our board. He's on here. Shawana has 5. I have Rick Ross from Music Education Group. I have Tracy Bryant, Dr. Tracy Bryant. I have Perry Jones from Reverend Run and Diggy Simmons. I have 4 Dwayne Smalls, a community partner. I have 5 plus myself. And so Shawana has 5. I need them to work. Well, I'm about to show you the plan. Shawana has 5. Dr. Thomas and Parnisa has 7. Vernette has 6. Tuwia has 4. Sharice has 7. So you guys got a lot of people that are helping support you in the community. And so Ebony was exactly right that she needs them to work. And so as a executive director or CEO or the leader of your nonprofit, that is always a thorn to pick. You are the executive director doing all the work. You got a board member that either they're sitting on there and they look pretty on the letterhead, or you just don't know what to tell them what to do to raise the money. They have the capacity to raise the money. They just don't know when, how much, why, what is it that they're doing, what is it they're working on. And so that's the conversation and this template that I blessed y'all with in this workbook that I'm going to show you how this breaks out. Now make sure you pull up your calculator on, if you're on your phone and you're just watching this, if you got a side calculator, look on your laptop, there's a calculator. But there is a rule in nonprofit world. I don't know where this rule came from. I heard it from Tracy Bryant like many years ago, and then I've read different articles about this exact rule because it is a rule called the 45-55 rule for fundraising. And what that means is that 45% of the budget is responsible for fundraising under the executive director. 55% is the responsibility of the board of directors. 45 ED, 55 board of directors. So if you have your workbook and you see that blank line that says program budget, you put in your program budget. I'm going to use $10,000 because I'm the one who failed math and English in high school, and just let me just do round numbers and then we'll all be happy. So if you take the budget of $10,000, round number, that means 45% goes to the executive director. 45% of 10,000 is 4,500. 55% of 10,000 is 5,500. See how I did that there? And so what that means is that there's an uneven balance. There's more that the board has to raise from the executive director. Does anybody know why the board has to raise more than the ED? Let me see you post your comments. Why does your board, Ebony, and this is speaking directly to you about your board and you needing them to work, this is why you need to understand, or this is why they need to understand, you get it. So why is there more with the board that has to raise than the executive director? I'm going to jump into the Facebook group, add some people. Y'all can't be sending me direct messages while I'm on the live stream. I can't do both. Let me jump over into the group. And so the reason why we have such a delay. The reason why, yes, John, because there's more board members than there are you as one person as the executive director. Ebony says, because I'm running the day-to-day and building relationships. Absolutely. You guys are spot on, dead on right. That is why there is more of them than there are of you. You all that have 4 and 7 and 15 and 6 and however many people that you have on the board, that's you. And you know that you are working this full-time dream and a full-time passion, and you need some support. And so when you break it down like this, it's like, okay, look, I'm in the community building relationships, and some of those and most of those will lead to a donation at the end. Let me do my hustle. I need you to do your hustle. Your hustle is $5,000. Now, if you have your calculator, and let's just take this table below. So you as the ED, you put your amount at 4,500. Okay? And at the total amount at the bottom of that table, you want to put 10,000. See how I have here? 4,000, 10,000. Now, for somebody that has 4 on their board, Tiwa, we're going to take you as an example because you have 4. And that's a great number because I'm sure it's you as one, and then you got 3 other people, right? And so if there are 3 other people that are your board members that has got to raise $5,500, what you'll do is you'll take the number 5,500 and divide it by 3. $5,500 and divide it by 3. That means that each board member, the secretary, the treasurer, and whatever board member, has to raise for the entire year $1,833. Let's do that again for you guys to see. The $5,500 of the 55% of 10,000, you have to raise as the executive director $4,500. The remaining balance to fundraise is $5,500. If there are 3 other board members that have to raise $5,500 total from January through December, what does that look like on an individual board of directors basis? What that equates to is $1,833. You just took $5,500 and divided it by 3. And that's the number that you get. So this is how this works into, now that seems more manageable. For a new board member, Tiwa says 1833. Great. And so on this template here, now look, you're probably going to have to redo this 50 million different times. You're going to have to print this off. It's no problem. This is what is here for you as a worksheet. This is yours to keep, to write on all over it. What you'll do is you'll transfer this information into the worksheet. All it is math. So board member. So let's say this is your secretary. So in the spaces where it says board member, you're going to write your board member's name or their position. So there's a board member here. There's a board member here. Whatever, how many, again, you're going to have to Xerox this a couple of times. And so let's just say it's just the board member and the treasurer that I can put on this page. And so your goal is $1,833. Okay? That's your goal. You can write it up there. If you take $1,833 and divide it over 12 months, your board is responsible for $152.77 per month. So Ebony, you say that, and I totally understand, like, I need to get them to work. They have to understand the money first and how the money applies to them in order for them to work. And this is a great exercise and tool to do, just like how I'm explaining to you. And now you'll get it. You have to explain it to them exactly how you interpret it and I explained it to you. And so when you break it down of a monthly goal of $152.77, light bulbs. Look at Ebony. Ebony said light bulbs. Hallelujah. Yes. And so if you break it down and say, hey, board member, all you have to do is raise $152 per month. I need everybody on a 4-person board. Now you know what $152 looks like. But guess what? Guess what? Your board should also give and get. And what that means is that, what did John say? That makes it much more realistic. Cool. And so what that means is that your board needs to give or get. They need to be a giving board of some type of financial, fiscal commitment to the organization, and they need to go get some money. What was the theme music that we played when we first started? Get money. That's exactly what the board is supposed to do, is get money. But if you break it down to them, now they're like, oh, only $152 a month? Oh, okay, now I can do that. Now, how do they do that? Now you break it down to say, okay, superpower person, these are the ways that you get it. Each person on your board needs to be giving you $250 a year as their board commitment. $250. If you can't ask the people that are on your board, you need to find new board members. They must give a financial donation. And the reason why, as an executive director, number one, that gives you your seed money to push off, to do what you need to do, to get the organization up and running. That pays for your licensings, that does a whole lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with $1,000. Look, if you have a board that gives $250 and there's 4 of you on the board, that's $1,000. And so in the first 90 days, it's great that this worksheet breaks down the type of donations accepted. Absolutely, absolutely. And so your board needs to give you $250, a 4-person board, including yourself. Because as you're getting into grant applications, and we'll move into that conversation as we go along, is that a lot of these grants are asking, does your board give? What percentage of your board gives? And if that is not 100%, your grant has the high possibility of getting moved to the next show. Someone says, I've only asked for $100 per board member annually. Ebony, and so how many years have you asked your board for $100? Was that year 1, year 2, or year 3, or all of your years? And then I'll wait for you guys to somebody is sending me an instant message. They want to see 100% board giving. Yes. So I'll wait for Ebony's answer. This is year 1. Okay, great. And so Ebony, and so if this is year 1, $100 is great. $250 is better. And you could do it 2 ways. You can ask them for $100 cash, and then $150 that they need to go fundraise. But as you can see, $150 fundraising over 12 months is a very modest goal. You need to push your board members that if they are not going to give you $250, they need to go get you $500 in kind. If you're paying out of pocket for your own license, another initial startup, can you write that off in some form? Yes. So Shawana, yes, you can. So when you, and this is an off question, but I love this. Yes, you can write this off. That will be a conversation that you'll have with your CPA because it is a new business. And so within the first 3 years of a new business, that they know that the startup cost, everybody's got to pay a startup cost. And that's not, and nonprofit is not a startup cost, so to speak. That's just the cost of business. But because your nonprofit is under 3 years old, and you're the executive director, you can write it off on your taxes for your $990 for your nonprofit. That's already assumed, and that's already in your budget. So you personally, because you started a business, you personally can write off the filing expenses to start a business, but you'll have to have that conversation with your CPA. Nonprofits report income expenses on a form 990. Yes, thank you for that info. And so, yes, the conversation about money with your board is going to make you mildly to moderately to extremely uncomfortable at some times. But you got to start at home. You have to start asking the people that said yes to you because your dream is going to cost. And so this is the blueprint. They got to see what your dream is going to cost. They need to see the budget broken down, what that budget is going to grow every year. Look, if you ask for your board of directors for $250 for year 1 and 2, by year 3, that needs to look like $300, $350, $400, depending on how the board is raising the money or what type of personal income that board has. And so I bet you 3 years ago when you went to Quick Trip or BP and got some gas, it wasn't the same price that it is today. And so the cost to do business, whether it's in a nonprofit or a for-profit, costs. Therefore, that you need your home team to support you. So when you break it down per person, you can have an idea of what this looks like, but also in your board meeting, do this. Ask your board members to do this with you, and they'll tell you what will happen over month to month to month to month. Oh, this shouldn't be treasurer. I'm sorry. This is a 12-month. I thought this was the one that I compressed. I have a longer version of this that I compress over, like you can see, 2 board members' activities over 12 months. But if you could look as that, if this is 12 month, depending on how you run your calendar, some people run their fiscal year July 1 to June 30th. Some people run theirs January to December. However you run your calendar, that's why I put the month number instead of the month actual name of the month. And so you'll divide it up. Let's say, for instance, that we did this at the beginning of 2016, and we know that your board members love to throw a holiday party. Well, maybe that's a great way to get in front of their holiday guests for about 5 minutes. Don't take everybody's time up while they're eating unless they're coming there specifically for you. And maybe your board member is fundraising and their money is dropped into 11 and 12. And so you've had the conversation with them to know where their money is dropped. So John said, so page 8 is entirely for each board member. Yes. And they're responsible for each month. Yes. In other words, each board member is in charge of their own page 8. Yes, 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 John. Each with your support and with the other buy-ins of the other board members, because they want to know what other board members are doing too, because you may get a situation where there may be 2 board members that say, okay, well, if you're throwing a holiday party in November, well, I'll go in with you and we'll joint do it. We'll invite your friends over to your house and then we'll pay for it together. And so you want to have conversations. Some people throw summer parties. Some people get bonuses and want to drop. However you want to do this, this is your conversation. And so that's the fundraising plan. Or does the entire board work to achieve page 8? Page 8 is for the entire board works to achieve to page 7. That's this one. Each board member contributes to all of page 8. So your board member and your total amount, where I put treasurer should be your amount over here. So the secretary is responsible for $1,833. We know it's $152 per month. How's she going to get it? Is she going to give it? Is it going to be on a special event? Does she have friends that she'll ask? Is it a major gift? That means is somebody writing a whopping check and that just marks out. Maybe she knows somebody that's going to just give her the $1,833 and that marks her. She's one and done. Maybe it's a volunteer giving. Maybe she's doing a volunteer activity on behalf of the organization and she's leading it and she asked for a volunteer gift. Or maybe it's from her job that has a matching gift. You can put it in there. Or maybe it's an in-kind gift. Maybe that she has a partnership with an office that's giving away office furniture and you need it for your after-school program. That's the in-kind gift. So awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, so I got another gift. Because we are running tonight. Oh my goodness, you guys' comments are off the hook. You guys are jumping in. You guys are playing. Are you guys having fun? Okay, so I got a gift for you guys. So I have 3 open sessions for this weekend coming up. And so these are for people that would like for me to help them with their fundraising plan. That says, I got it, I got it, I got it, I finally got it. Let me get in on a 20-minute coaching session, laser focused on the fundraising plan only. I got 3 spots. I know there is a delay. I know y'all going to be fighting for these 3 spots, but I got a spot Friday night, Saturday morning, and Sunday night. That's Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, and Sunday night. If you want that coaching session, 20 minutes where me and you, and I'm looking over this and showing you how to do this and need to ask me any question that you may, post it down in the comment section now. Let me see who we got here. This is so delayed. Let's see. Who wants this? Now I'm going to jump over, and I'm going to, as soon as that refreshes and I jump back in, then we will see who will get the free session. And for those of you guys that are just jumping in again, jump into the Facebook group. That's Brandi Hicks, BrandiHicks. Jump in and ask to be accepted. Oh my goodness, today there has been 36 new people that have jumped into the community. Woohoo! Jump in, jump in, jump in, jump in. Let's see who wants these 4 spots that we got here. All right. This is such a delay. And I'm going to keep going. All right. So, let's see what else we got left. And so, the last thing that we're going to talk about is the squad goals for, Tiwa says Sunday night, I would like the call. Tiwa, Sunday night, gotcha. Tiwa, I'm going to send you an inbox message for your 20-minute coaching call on fundraising. So all we got left is Friday and Saturday. I guess if I refresh this, maybe I could see too. Tiwa says she's in it. Got it. I'll send you an inbox message, and as those roll up, I will keep talking. So volunteer, we're going to talk about on page 9 on your workbook. And so volunteer squad, I love this because this is squad goals. For every nonprofit, you got to make sure that you have the right team behind you. And these are people that have a skill set that you have saw something that shines within them, that they've stepped up to the plate. Oh, can we revisit my question? I am so sorry. And I saw it right here. Yes, Tiwa. Can we revisit my question regarding audited financials for new nonprofits? I have met some owners that were denied grants because they did not have them. Any advice? Yes. Before we jump into volunteers, absolutely. I will answer that question. So here's the thing. When you're a new nonprofit and you're starting out, you can't afford an audit. An audit is reserved for nonprofits that are have a budget of, or have expenses and a budget over $25,000 or more. Why? Because a financial audit, are you still live? Yes, I'm still live. Can you guys not see me? I can see me. Let's see. You may want to refresh your page, John, because I see that I'm still live. Look, I'm looking at myself. It's a little delay. Okay, so with the audits cost about $5,000. Why? Because it's from a professional CPA person, and they take their time. They go through the audits. They go through all of your financial records. They take time, and they are financially and fiscally responsible to your organization. I see everybody now. Everybody can see me. I think, John, you just needed to refresh it. And so, Tiwa, so the reason why that one of possibly your community friends got turned away from a grant because they had a financial audit is because of the caliber of the grantor has decided that their clearinghouse, for those people that want to apply for their funding, must have a financial audit. That is what that granting agency's nonprofit board decided to do with their funds. They decided, hey, we want to make sure that someone else, a CPA, a qualified professional, reviews their financials. And so that actually is the difference in a lot of grant applications, but there's tons of grant applications that don't ask for an audit. So that's where grant mining and grant research and grant search comes in to. If you don't have that financial audit, that doesn't mean that you're not qualified to apply for another type of grant. And so you just need to look for grants that you're qualified for in order to get it. Do I recommend you spending $5,000 on a financial audit? No, not in the first. If you're grossing, if you clear about $50,000 in donations, anything over 25,000, then yes, absolutely. If you've only raised 10,000, you can't spend $5,000 on a budget. There is something to call a financial review that accountant can look at it, but it's not the same as an audit. It does provide a professional review that you can share with your funders, but it won't qualify you to say, I can check the box and have a financial audit. And so you would just have to find another grant. Tiwa, I hope that answers your questions. Let me see if there's any other questions that we have. Okay, I think I answered those. Okay, awesome sauce. All right, so let's get back to these squad goals, because this is my favorite about volunteers. And so what I want you guys to do is take a look at page 9. And so the types of volunteers are the staff leadership positions. And so those are people that are like yourself, the executive director, your program director, maybe your bookkeeper. Maybe they are great volunteers. They're maybe on your board. You've got your board members. You've got your corporate volunteers. Those are great. Those are great that if you work for a large organization or a small organization, that gives the organization or the employees time off to go do some work in the community. Oh, no. Okay, now I'm back. So Tiva says, I'm an accountant. Sorry, I probably lost you guys for a hot second. And so Tiva says, I'm an accountant, so I have those relationships for my org, but I feel bad hearing so many stories of those seeking funding. Well, Tiva, that's yes, that is not necessarily a sad story, because that organization can partner with another organization that has the financial audit. Look, you can't allow you not having a financial audit be your barrier to why you're not getting grant money. Either A, you look for other grants, B, you start raising enough money in your organization that you can pay for it, or C, that you partner with an organization that has one and both of you all go jointly into that grant application, and then you qualify because you have a partnership. And so that's how you get through those obstacles. And so you can have small or large group volunteer projects. Just make sure that your volunteers have enough work to do. That is the worst experience for a volunteer, to not have enough work to do. Internship programs. I have an internship program with my alma mater at Keller Graduate School of Management. And so I got 2 volunteers that intern with me for no cost to our organization to learn about the nonprofit. And so that goes into their professional profile. Would that be considered a fiscal agent? Yes, John, that is considered a fiscal agent when you partner with another organization that has the financial audit. They would be the fiscal agent. So the grant application would go in their name, and they would submit all of the qualifying documents, but they would list you in the memorandum of understanding. That's your agreement. That's your partnership agreement that states when you get the grant, how much money that you would get. And so, yes, I think I answered your question. Okay. And so you can also get volunteers to help with admin support. I have some great volunteers that help me with social media, that help me run my live workshops with my students. I have great volunteers that are currently revamping my website that will be launching hopefully by next Thursday for the last class, so you can see what's going on behind the scenes. And so you can have volunteers to do a lot of things on your line items to get that out-of-pocket expense down that you find volunteers. Depending on what type of work that you do in the community, you can get court-appointed volunteers. There are some people that has contacted me that work in animal shelters. Animal-assisted therapy are great ways to get court-appointed volunteers, so they don't have to go through certain clearinghouses when you're working with children or vulnerable populations. And so I want to hear in the Facebook group, who is on your volunteer squad. So I want you guys to shout out one of your volunteers, whether it's a board member, a staff member, a corporate volunteer. I want to what Cherie says, woo, I want to grasp all of this, a lot of information. Don't worry, we got a replay. I'm going to upload it to YouTube. You'll get the link. If you're on the mailing list, then you've got the link already for the replay. What are the guidelines relative to splitting monies between fiscal agents and the partner? That's between you and your partner. You got to determine the scope of the work, John. You got to determine who's going to be doing the bulk of the work. Let's say, for instance, it's your idea. You just need their qualifying documents. If that's the case, John, and you're doing a lot of the work, then you take 80% and give them 20% of admin fees. Remember, anytime that you're dealing with money and you got to pay somebody to do a service, it's like a credit card transaction fee, John. So you give them anywhere from 10, no more than 20% when you're dealing with grant funds that you're moving money around. Great question. Sharice, we will have the replay of that. I see Monica has joined us. Stephanie has joined us back in. And so those are some of the guidelines, John. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to post your one person that is your volunteer that is on your team. I want you to tag them in the post below because you want them to know that you are in it to win it this evening. Yes, very helpful. We just seeking volunteers and posted on Idealist. No inquiries yet. Okay, Tiva, then what you need to do is that you're in a community. And so you all, if you don't have your volunteers yet, post your website, your Facebook page, tag yourself, let us know who you are so other people on this Facebook feed can get to know who you are, check out what you're doing, and either A, they can lend you virtual support, or B, they can tell you some resources of how to get volunteers in your community. And so, speaking of volunteers, there is, I think some of you guys have known me from the community, and I did some training in volunteers and how to serve on a board. And so I went to a program back in 2007, and it's only based here in Atlanta. But I think we're going to try to figure out a way of how to get some type of similar training on a virtual platform. Is that I really wanted to find great volunteers. So Tiwa, this is speaking to you as an example. And Ebony, you have a program assistant on the board. And so I really wanted to look into how do I find a qualified board member? How do I get the support that I need? How do I even know what I'm looking at? And so I went to, as I always call the epicenter of nonprofits, is the United Way. And so when I started in this program and looked up some information, it's called the United Way Volunteer Involvement Program. It's called VIP, Volunteer Involvement Program. And it was a 10-week training program that taught you how to fundraise, taught you about nonprofits, how to teach you how to look for a board member, how to run a board. And you're in an incubator with 49 other brilliant community leaders that are wanting to serve. And me being an executive director sitting in a room of 49 people from the corporate world that wanted to give, oh my, I was like a kid in a candy shop. But there is, it happens here in Atlanta, and it happens a couple of times a year. But even if you are not a someone who lives in Atlanta, you can contact your United Way by calling 211 and asking them what nonprofit in the community that can help you train to look for qualified board members. And so you can look on Idealist. That's a good website. But there's also websites like SCORE. SCORE is an organization for retired executives, SCORE. It's the Senior Coalition of Retired Executives, something like that. But they, if you Google it, let me see if I can Google it while I'm talking to you guys, is that they have an organization that has retired executives. How cool is it to find somebody to intern for you that has years of experience? Let's see. I can't find it on the website now because I have like way too many windows going up. But you'll look for SCORE. There it is, Allison, SCORE.org. And so, yes, T would love to jump in. I see you jumping in. There you go. They're looking for virtual support. And so you can go to a lot of different places. But the United Way VIP program, I kid you not, I tell them all the time, they don't pay me for this. They don't endorse me for it. This is my story and this is my truth. And so the United Way VIP program was one of the most comprehensive board of directors training program that I've ever experienced. And I got 2 masters and I've been around the block. And so this is a great, fabulous opportunity. They have a class running now, and then they have a class coming up in the spring. And so I have a special gift. Let me make sure, let me check something real quick before I give out this special gift. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. If you guys have actually been through the United Way VIP program, I want you to tag yourself below. I want you to tag I am VIP. And so I want you to tag below I am VIP. And so I have 2 gifts, and don't feel left out, y'all, that are out there now, is that that are not in Atlanta, but I have 2 gifts for 2 people that are in the Atlanta area. I am going to gift you a 20-minute coaching session with Allison Todd from the United Way. Allison Todd, tag yourself. Allison Todd is a development officer at the United Way, and she is a VIP alumni. And she is going to give 2 lucky people 2 20-minute coaching sessions to talk to you about how you get the best volunteers in your organization for those of you that live in Atlanta. And she is going to give you an orientation in order to understand the great benefits of the VIP program. And she tagged herself. It's at Allison Todd. That's at ALLISONTODD. Allison is going to give you 2 coaching sessions. And so the 2 gifts that I am giving it to is, drumroll, the 2 people that I am giving it to is Dr. and Mrs. Thomas. And so I am going to tag you. Allison, you tag them so they can find you. And so, Allison, check your @ name again. I think you spelled your name wrong. And so the 2 people, or the 2 sets of people that I want to give it to, is that I am giving that to Dr. and Mrs. Thomas here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second person that I am gifting this 20-minute coaching session to is Ebony Lyons Harris. So Dr. and Mrs. Thomas and Ebony Lyons Harris, give yourselves a round of applause. Woo, woo, woo. If you guys could tag them. Tag them, tag them, tag them. So I'm going to try to tag them in my post. Ebony, wait a minute, can I tag them? Ebony and John, hold on. John My internet is running so slow over here. Somebody tag them. Woohoo! John, yes, you're welcome. Thank you so much. We can't wait to meet you. We are grateful. Yes, you are welcome. You are welcome. Ebony, woo, woo. Yes. And I don't want anybody to feel slighted that does not live in Atlanta, Georgia, because I have lots and lots of goodies that I am giving away. So do not, don't feel like you're left out, because next week, the mother loads of the mother loads of the mother loads of gifts are being given out next week. And so if you didn't catch the 20-minute session last week, if you didn't catch the Hot 3 session that I left, because I still have 2 more spots. I didn't see anyone post for Sunday. Is going to Tiwa. And we got Friday afternoon and Saturday morning left. If you want those spots, you better grab them up. And guess what? I mean, even if I already have you scheduled for a 20-minute and you click on the draw and you need another 20 minutes, like, I just need another conversation, like, tag yourself real quick, because we're getting ready to close out just a second, because How to Get Away with Murder is getting ready to come on, and I'm still in my neighbor's house, and we've had a lot of work to do. And so I also do want to shout out, somebody had listed, whoever just sent me an inbox, I'm gonna answer you. I promise I'm gonna answer you. And so, wait, Shawana Lewis. Wait, it says, I've only been here in Georgia for 2 years, and I'm from Ohio as well. Wait, Shawana. Miss Shawana, does your daughter work at Publix? Is this the Miss Shawana that I have been hearing about? Wait, yes. Wait, you got to post on the Facebook group. I can't be talking to you. It's on chat as well. And I was looking for you, Miss Shawana. Is that I've heard such great stories about you from your daughter. And so I'm so excited to meet you. And so we are going to chat offline because your daughter believes in your vision. And see, this is why I love this community, is because the reason why, I hope you got my reply email. Don't give my spot away. Sharice, yes, you already got your spot. Yes. And so this Miss Shawana, I'm going to give you Saturday morning. And so Miss Shawana, you can have Saturday morning if you're available, or Friday. Yes. And if you're available, I need you to post in the Facebook feed and let me know. Look at God. Yes, look at God. Look at God. Absolutely. Okay, so I got one more spot. So I need to, whatever spot Miss Shawana doesn't take, then Friday or Saturday, that goes to you. Okay. And so let's take a look. I done got all sidetracked, got excited. Okay, and so let's just recap, because we're cresting the 10 p.m. mark, and this has been so much fun. Gosh, I love this part of interactive Facebook and my opportunity to share this gift with you guys, this opportunity to pour into you, this opportunity to get some feedback from you guys. And so real quick, what we went over tonight. And so Saturday. Miss Shawana's got Saturday, so I got Friday left. Okay. All right. So to recap, we have, so for the recap, we have budget. So now you guys know the 70-30 split. Okay, and you're in Georgia. All right, well then we have 3. Okay, so look, if you're in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, we're just got Allison. I hope that you're ready, because you know I like to do things on the fly. If you need Allison with a 20-minute coaching session about the United Way VIP program, I want you to tag Allison. Jessica Ann says, I'm in Georgia, president of the Foster Care Alumni of America. Well, then, Jessica, I want you to tag Allison Todd, ALLISONTODD. Allison, I need you to jump in there. I need you to tag Jessica, friend her, follow her, and get her information. Look, we just doing stuff on the flim. So everybody that's in Georgia, connect with Allison. Don't worry, out-of-state people. You know I'm going to take care of you. Next Thursday, I got something for y'all that is just going to blow y'all mind, but y'all got to wait. Y'all got to wait. Y'all got to wait. And so tonight, recap. We got our budget, our 70-30 split. For those of you all that just joined us this evening, when you jump into the Facebook Live group, that's Brandy Hicks, you'll look into the group. You'll look on the tab section of the files where you'll see files. Where you see files, you're going to download both your workbook as well as your template. Yes, yes, yes. Your template for your budget and your workbook for this section. That's your 70-30. And so you can work on your budget to see how you can balance it 70-30, 80-20. You're real good as 90-10. Now, the fundraising plan. We went through the 45-55 split. If this fundraising plan was beneficial to you tonight, for your whole hour and 45 minutes of being on this live stream with me, let me know now. Tag me below and said, I love 45-55. So let me know if this was something that was really helpful for you. So again, 45-55, you're 45% of the budget, your board is 55% of the budget. Why? It's more than you. You're going to take 4,500 and you make sure that you do the worksheet too for you. It's not just for your board, it's for you too. So you need to make sure, we got another one. Cheryl said she's in she's in Atlanta. Cheryl and Allison, y'all need to connect. Ebony says, excellent. I love 45-55. And so John says, what you are doing for this community is a beautiful gift for us all, and we are eternally grateful. Thank you, Brandy Ray. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's so sweet. Okay, so make sure that you do this exercise with your board together. You do it ahead of time, and then you bring it to your board meeting. You got to tell them what the 12 months look like. So A, they know how to budget it, or B, they know how to call friends in order how to budget. And then you as a board team, you guys walk through and help the people that are not comfortable in the ask. Golly, help your team. This is how you help your team. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, you guys are welcome. Look at you guys are so sweet. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so what I do have for an out-of-town person, this isn't the big Hawaii, but what I do have for an out-of-town person, I'm scrolling through my list, and I'm picking out 2 team players that I saw play full out this evening with their posts and their comments. Is that I have my book, The 10 Things You Need to Complete Your College Application. This is a workbook that if you have a high school student, or if you know of a high school student at your church, in your community, and your family member, this is a step-by-step of 10 things that I have broken down. Look, I have worksheets in here. You think I give y'all worksheets. We go through talking to kids about, I make them write down their dreams about why college is for me. For all of you parents that have college students or college-bound students, even if they're in the 9th grade, I give them homework. I ask them to review their transcript. Look at the homework that I give them. Yes, we have so many templates. This workbook, I don't know if you can see, this workbook is packed full of hands-on worksheets and templates for your student. There's homework in here, how to write a letter of recommendation, who they need to ask. Yes, yes, yes. All of this great information. This was a cool book. I even teach them how to brainstorm and write down their college essay. So the 10 things, let me read it to you real quick. What are the 10 things? The 10 things are official high school transcript, standardized test and graduation requirements, college tuition, application fees and deposits, high school counselor and school evaluations, letter of recommendation, student autobiography, the college essay, community service requirements, financial aid and scholarship documents, and application submission process. I am giving 2 of these books away. 2 of these books away. And the 2 people that I am gifting this to is, drum roll, I am sending these books to, I got to write your name down. I am sending these books to Stephanie Carter Jernigan. Yay! And the second person I am giving this to, I can't see, is Vernette Curry. I am sending you this book. Yay! Yes, 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 yes. So somebody tag Vernette Curry. Somebody tag Stephanie Carter Jernigan and let them know that they got a free gift coming in the mail. Yes, 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 yes. Melinda says, wow, I need a few of those books to give away for Christmas gifts to my nieces and nephews. I'm willing to play. Please advise. Well, Stephanie, you can go to the website collegeclinic.org, collegeclini.org. And there is a page where you can download the 10 Things workbook or order it online, and I can send it to you. Yes, yes, yes. These are great gifts, and you guys got to stay tuned. It's funny that you say that. Oh, you're welcome, Vernette. You're welcome, Stephanie. Yes, so Melinda, so stay tuned, because in the month of December, you think that we're turning up the heat in this nonprofit training. I am going to do a live training for your students during the break so we can pour into them. Yes, I will be going through this workbook. And so stay tuned for that. So that information is coming out soon. So yes, so you're welcome, Stephanie. You're welcome, Vernette. All righty. So it has been really, really fun today. And so I want to thank you guys for coming out. Yes, I am going to play my theme music for the day, Get Money. My big brother, this is his song. So if we get in trouble with YouTube, then I'll just have to send him an email. No, but seriously. So like today we talked about money. We talked about budget. We talked about your board. We talked about your volunteers. We talked about your fundraising. We talked about how to get money in your community. And so we got many different ways. You guys have stood up and said, yes, I am so proud of you guys for saying yes. Saying yes last week, saying yes last week, last night, whenever you jumped in. The emails that I've sent to you guys to schedule your appointments, you're jumping on board. And if you're still haven't taken action, and this is now the second week that you've come to the live stream, and like, I got to respond to that email. Respond to that email. I will send that invitation until Sunday at midnight for you to reply. After that, I'm giving out your spot because you think we're doing some big things in November. We're just getting ready to turn up the heat in December. And so, you know, today when I was getting my mind together, sometimes I like to watch like some DVDs and like get my mind kind of focused for my lesson. And today I always watch something powerful. I listen to like a motivational coach or something, you know, on the up and up. And so today I watched Joy. And that movie I watched on the plane on my way back from Sydney, Australia this summer, because you can watch a ton of movies on the plane. But that's the story about Joe Mangano. And she is the lady that is on, I think she's on QVC or Home Shopping Network, one of the big selling networks. Forgive me for not quoting her right network. But how the movie started, and she's a multi-billionaire, has all these different types of patents for all of these great inventions. You know, the velvet hanger, you know, those skinny hangers that us women love that don't tear our clothes. Yes, that's who the movie Joy is about. And so the great thing about that movie is that they talked about her movie, or they talked about her life, and she started like in humble beginnings. Like, she was her first invention. And she's the lady who did the mop, the squeegee mop, all these type of great inventions. And so her first invention was, when she was in high school, it was a fluorescent dog collar. That was her first invention. And if you all have dogs, you know, like, that's like the big thing now. And so she was reading this book, and she was helping her kid do her homework, and they were reading about a cicada. And those are those bugs, if you live down south, they look like big roaches, but they make a whole lot of noise. And so they're about 2 to 3 inches, and when they come together, they make a really, 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 really loud noise, like 1,200 decibels, something like really, really loud. And as she was reading, she said that the cicada only lives about 2 to 3 years, but it hides underground for 13 to 17 years before it comes out. Lives about 2 to 3 years, and then it dies. But a cicada hides who they really are and does not make the noise that they need to make in the world because they've been hiding underground for 13 to 17 years. And so when I heard that, it was like a light bulb confirmation. And so how many of you all have been hiding on your nonprofit gift, have had it buried for 13, 17 years, just waiting to burst through and make this loud noise in the world? And so that's what we've been doing the last 2 weeks. And now next week is our last week. Somebody said she got three Thanksgivings before Turkey Day, or 3 Thursdays before Thanksgiving. You know what I'm trying to say. And so now is the time to unleash this childhood gift that you had within you, 13 to 17 years old. And I'm telling my age, but yes, some of you all that have been hiding this gift for 13 to 17 years, and now is the time to stand up and make loud, brilliant noise again. Loud, brilliant noise around a community of all these people. This is why you jumped into the Facebook group. This is why you've been on live rocking with me for the last 2 hours in and out. Yes. So don't bury this nonprofit gift that you have within you, because the community needs you. And so I'm so proud of you guys for saying yes. Yes to the Laser coaching. Yes to the VIP. Yes for being active. Your books are on the way. Yes for your coaching. Yes for everything, and saying yes to yourself, and yes to doing the homework. And so next week when you join me, I think I will have a Wi-Fi signal, because Comcast will be tomorrow between the hours of 10 and 12. And so next week is our last week. So I want you guys to, I'm a cicada unicorn. Yes, Jerice, yes you are. And so Allison Ebony said, please post it on the group. The hyperlink isn't live. Okay, so she'll post that, Allison, and get back out to you guys. So next week, you're welcome, Tila. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So next week session is our last session. It's going to be a blowout, bang out. So if you ain't done your homework, you need to do your homework, because next week we're getting ready to go full throttle. So you may want to make sure you block out some time, because we may go run over a little bit into 10 p.m., but it's going to be well worth it. And so next week we'll be going through 7, 8, 9, and 10, which is social media for social projects. You're going to want to love that, because we're on social media now. We're going to talk about professional development and how to always be a student. Number 9, nonprofit business license and insurance. This is really, really important if you haven't started, or if you have started, to make sure you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. And then lastly, community partners. I'm going to share with you a list of my community partners, and I'll share with you a list that will make it very helpful for you to gain community partners in where you are, because we are global, baby. We are all over the globe with this 10 things you need to rock your nonprofit. So I thank all of you guys for jumping in and playing very boldly this evening. Thank you for your patience in the technical difficulties that we've had. And I love you. So I am your sister in service. I'm Brandy Ray Hicks. And this is the 10 things you need to rock your nonprofit. See you next Thursday at 8.